Hello students, good morning. Hopefully you are very well. In my previous classes, the first stanza and second stanza of the poem Sonnet 18 were explained. In the first quatrain of Sonnet 18, Shakespeare sets up the beautiful simile between his friend and the beautiful summer's day and the superiority of his beautiful young friend. Okay, in the second quatrain you came to know that the poet considers the changing fates of the season of summer. Today the third and fourth quatrains will be third quatrain and the concluding couplet will be explained. In the third quatrain the poet bestows unchangeability to the young person through the lines of poetry. In the third quatrain, the poet is going to bestow unchangeability to his young friend through the lines of poetry. Okay, in the final couplet, the poet underlines the eternal beauty of his beautiful young friend when it is captured in the eternal lines of poetry. Clear? Again, I am repeating. In the final couplet, in the concluding couplet, the poet underlines the eternal beauty of his youthful friend when it is captured in the eternal lines of Sonnet 18. Okay? In the previous class, you came to know that on this earth, every lovable, beautiful natural object is a subject of decay or change. With the passage of time, by chance means by fate or by nature's law, every beautiful natural object or every lovable human being figure gets changed, gets faded with the passage of time. No mortal figure, no natural beautiful figure is everlasting on this earth. By fate means by chance, suddenly, accidentally, or by the law of nature, every beautiful mortal figure or every lovable, lovely object of nature must be ruined, must be destroyed, must be changed, must be faded with the passage of time. Clear? Now in the third stanza, the poet is telling us, the poet is giving a shift of change, a shift of thought. But it is called in poetry, in English literature, it is called volta. When by using a but, the shift of thought is given by the poet, it is called volta, volta. That means a shift of changing thought of the poet. The poet is telling, but thy eternal summer shall not fade. But thy, thy, thy means your. The poet is telling to his beautiful young friend, but your eternal summer shall not fade, shall not decrease, shall not decrease in any way. Eternal summer, question will come, eternal summer. What is the eternal summer? So eternal summer means the youthful loveliness, youthful beauty of the poet's friend. Shall, be verb shall, modal shall has been given to emphasize the announcement, to emphasize the poet's declaration. Not fade means it will not be vanished, it will be ever glowing, forever and ever. So the poet is telling to his friend, but thy eternal summer, your youthful beauty will be everlasting on this earth, will be evergreen. Shall not fade means shall not decrease in any way, shall not decline in any way, it will be evergreen forever and ever. Okay, so eternal summer means the youthful loveliness, youthful beauty of the poet's friend. Nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor lose possession. Possession. Possession means costly object, precious object, beautiful object of nature mother. Of that fair, fair means fair thing. Nor lose possession of that fair. That means you will never lose your beautiful fair, your beautiful object. Thou owest means you are the owner of which. Oust means oust, the owner. Noun is the owner. So here oust means you capture, you belong to. That means the loveliness, the beauty that belongs to you. Your loveliness, your youthful excellent beauty is your beautiful lovable object, your costly object, your precious object The poet is telling to his friend, this is your most costly, the most precious object will never be lost from your life. So the poet is telling, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Means you capture, you belong to. So the beautiful object, the beautiful fair, the beautiful object, the loveliness that you have captured, of which you are the owner, will never be lost from your life. Okay? Because it has been carved in the eternal lines of Sonnet 18. As long as human civilization exists, people will read this Sonnet 18. So when people will read this Sonnet 18, they will recall, they will think, they will remember about the excellent loveliness of the poet's friend. So in the eyes of the people, so in the heart of the people, the poet's friend will be evergreen forever and ever. People will never come to know about the middle old age days or old days of the poet's friend. People always only will come to know about the beautiful young stage of the poet's friend. So the poet is telling, you will never lose the beautiful object of your fairness from your life. Nor shall death brag, nor shall is given modal to emphasize the matter, nor shall death brag means boast, B-O-A-S-T, boast, that means pride, take pride or pride. Thou means you wanderst, old English, poetic English, wanders means wander, W-A-N-D-E-R, that means visit, V-I-S-I-T, or walk. In his said, his means deaths, his pronunciation, his pronoun his, you follow his, that means death is personified here by the poet. Said means the shadow of death. So death is the most omnipotent figure, death is the most cruel figure, death is the most powerful figure. In every human life, death must visit one day to finish his or her life. So death is the figure that is very boastful, that takes too much pride, because death must visit in the life of every human body, and one day that human body must be vanished from this earth by the grasp of, by the paws of death. So death is naturally most boastful figure, very proud figure. Here the poet is telling, nor shall death brag. Death, the most omnipotent figure, death, the most powerful figure, will never be able to be proud of killing your life, destroying your life. So you will never walk in the black shadow of death. Death is always frightening, death is always ominous, death is always gloomy. So death has a black shadow. Every human being on this earth, with the passage of time, must walk into the black shadow of death. But here the poet's friend will never walk, W-A-L-K, or wander into the black shadow of death, because before the arrival of death, the beautiful young stage of the friend has been inscribed in the eternal lines of poetry. As long as human civilization exists, people will read the eternal lines of Sonnet 18. And when people will read the lines of Sonnet 18, they will recall, they will remember about the loveliness of the poet's friend. So the lovely young friend of the poet, so the youthful young friend of the poet will be immortal into the heart of people forever and ever. So the paws of the cruel death are failure here, to vanish, to finish, to destroy the excellent loveliness of the poet's friend. So the poet is telling, even the onslaughts of time and death will be failure, to finish, to vanish your loveliness. With the passage of time, with the arrival of death, every mortal figure, every lovable object is finished, is vanished from this earth. So here the poet has greatly announced that even the onslaughts, O-N-S-L-I-U-G-H-T-S, even the onslaughts of time and death, even the attacks of time and death are failure, to vanish you, to finish you, to destroy you, to shift you from this earth. So forever and ever, you will be evergreen, you will be everlasting on this earth through the lines of Sonnet 18. So my friend, the poet is telling, so my friend, you will never walk in the black shadow of death. Clear? When in eternal lines to time, thou growest. Thou means you, growest means grow, G-R-O-W, grow. That means you grow up again and again, day by day. In the eternal lines means in the eternal immortal lines of Sonnet 18. To time means to time to time. To time means forever and ever. That means for ages and ages. That means with the passage of time, with the progress of time, with the advantage of time, with the passage of time, with the advent of time, your growing spirit, your loveliness, your youthfulness will be increasing day by day, day by day. Human civilization, up to the existence of the human civilization, generation after generation, people will read this Sonnet 18, and when people will read this Sonnet 18, they will feel FWL, they will explain the loveliness of the poet's friend in a new kind way, in a different kind of way, with the new spirit of light. So the poet is telling, when in eternal lines to time thou growest, because when you grow up means you day by day you grow up in the eternal lines, in the immortal lines of Sonnet 18. To time means to time, or with the passage of time. With the passage of time, with the progress of time, your growing beauty, your youthfulness will be ever increasing, because you have been carved in the eternal lines of poetry. Your loveliness has been inscribed into the eternal lines of Sonnet 18. As long as human civilization, human race exists, the Sonnet 18 will be read by people, and forever and ever you will be evergreen into the heart of people through the lines of this poetry. Okay, so the victory of poetry has been sung by the poet here over the black shadow of time and death. Time and death, the two omnipotent, most powerful figures of the earth, are failure here by the beautiful touch of poetry. So poetry is immortal, and through the poetry, the poet's friend is immortal on this earth. Clear? Now the final couplet, where the poet is describing the eternal beauty of the young friend. So great announcement, beautiful announcement of the poet. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see. So long as men means people. So long people can breathe, oxygen flow taking, releasing the carbon dioxide system, and eyes can see. That means the existence of mankind, the existence of human civilization. Means as long as, so long as means as long as human race exists, as long as mankind exists, as long as human civilization exists, so long lives this poem. This means this poem, Sonnet 18. And this poem gives life to thee, gives life to you. Thee means you. Life means here immortality. Okay, so as long as human civilization exists on this earth, as long as mankind exists on this earth, so long the lines of Sonnet 18 will be read by people, and you will be evergreen. Your youthfulness, your loveliness will be everlasting in the heart of people forever and ever. So the poet is telling, as long as this poem Sonnet 18 is read, the youthfulness of my friend, which has been carved in the eternal lines of Sonnet 18, will remain for all time, for ages and ages, generation after generation, for generation after generation. The excellent loveliness of the poet's friend will be evergreen, will be everlasting, will be ever glowing into the heart of people forever and ever. So the poet is telling to his friend, my friend, you will never be lost into the black shadow of oblivion. You will never be lost into the black shadow of death. You will never be lost with the grasp of time. So the onslaughts of time and death will be failure to kill you, to finish you from this earth. So your loveliness will be immortal into the earth forever and ever. Because your excellent loveliness, your warmth, your beauty, your elegance, your politeness, have been carved by me in the eternal lines of Sonnet 3, Sonnet 18. So as long as human civilization exists, Sonnet 18 will exist. And when Sonnet 18 will exist, you will be existed into the heart of people forever and ever. In this way, the poet has greatly dedicated this beautiful sonnet poem to his friend Mr. W.H. or William Howard. Through the lines of Sonnet 18, the poet has immortalized his friend. So, in this way, the poet has idealized his great love for his poem. The poet's great love, affection, faith, trust, confidence, all have been announced here through this beautiful poem. In the very sense, the poem Sonnet 18 is a beautiful love poem because the poet's great love has been idealized here. So it is an example of a beautiful love poem in English poetry. Okay, the poet has immortalized here the excellent loveliness of his friend through the lines of Sonnet 18. Today up to here, the poem is finished. Next day, question answer page will be given for you. Okay, today up to here. Thank you much.